Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back. Okay, tailors. Don't knock them until you've played about 20 of them. Then tell me you don't like a tailor. And if you still don't, well, hey, whatever. Everybody has their preferences, right? And we all have reasons why we prefer a certain brand. I prefer the tailors. There's actually a number of reasons, really. I like the looks of tailors. I like how they build their guitars too. I mean, if you've played 114E, you've played them all, believe me. Okay, they have like the ultimate cloning process of any guitar manufacturer out there. That's a key thing. So, because usually when you play a particular guitar, you go and you play the next one and it doesn't feel the same, it doesn't sound the same. It's not even set up the same. And Taylor, they just do. Here's 1,000 114s. Here's 1,000 314s, 1,700 whatevers, and every single one in that series is going to be the same. You know, and if there's a minute difference, you'd be hard pressed to pick it up. But some people can pick up the odd difference, but it's really difficult. Their cloning process is so good, and they do a ton load of CNC work to make sure that everything is super precise and perfectly done. You know, I mean, even right down into where the neck joins the body in here. It is like there's no gaps, no nothing, and yet this neck is only bolted on, which is another big plus of Taylor's. Their neck and bodies, they slide together somehow. I've never had the neck off of one of these. I've only had the neck off of a baby Taylor once, and it's pretty neat the way it's put together too. But this would probably be similar along that line, or maybe slightly different. I don't know. But there's probably only just the one bolt in this too, because I did check my GS Mini tonight, and there's only one bolt, and at least you can see it. It's hidden by a sticker, so it's kind of like, well, I don't know if there's one or two there, but there's at least one for sure. But either way, you remove the bolt or bolts, and you just slide the neck right off. It's that simple. I mean, you don't even need any other tools other than just the socket to undo the bolts, right? Or bolt. And it's that simple. You can change the neck yourself, change the body yourself. So if something should happen to your neck, yeah, you can just order a new neck, take it off, throw that one in the garbage, pop the new one on. You're back in business in like half an hour because you're going to have to unstring and restring, obviously, right? And same with the body. Something happens to your body, de-string the guitar, take the neck off, take your good neck, throw it on the new body, away you go. And it's cost efficient. And because the user can do this themselves, makes it that much better. Or if you choose and you want a professional to do it, because you may have to do a little bit of shimming, maybe, or maybe not, it kind of varies, but you shouldn't have to do anything. But should the occasion happen, you might, then at least you could have it professionally done, and it's only about maybe an hour to 2 hours worth of labor tops, right? That's inexpensive. You want to pop the neck off of any other guitar on this planet that I'm aware of, which is a lot of brands like Martin, Fender, Yamaha. These things, you got to pound the necks off. They probably have a bolt in there too, but they're also glued in, or there's some other process they use, but you got to pound those necks off. And if you make one little boo-boo pounding the neck, you could break the heel, you could put a big bash mark into the guy's body, and now you got to do a repair, which is going to be seen. He's going to be pissed, because that's his baby you're playing with, right? So this is like undo, slide off, slide on the new one. So precision fit, no play, no forgiveness. It just goes together perfect. So yeah, that's a good reason to really like Taylor's too. Price wise, I mean, you can get a really sick plain Taylor that if you wanted to try and find its equal match, say in a Martin, you're still going to pay probably 2, 3, 4 times more money for that Martin, and you're still going to have a guitar that you'd be guaranteed that Martin's going to be getting at least 1 or 2 resets in its life, and that's going to be costing you a lot of money to get that reset of the neck done. Okay, that's not cheap. And not just on Martins, but any guitar. And besides, when you look at a guitar too, if you're going to just stick with guitars under $1,000, like way under $1,000, so we're saying something like 500 and less, you don't get neck resets done. You snap it in half, throw it in the barbecue pit, and then you go buy another guitar. But if you're starting to pay $8,000, $9,000, $2,000, you're going to pay for a neck reset, right? But at least on the Taylor, it's going to be so cheap, it's pathetic. And like I said, even cheaper if you do it yourself. So there you go. That is beneficial right there. That's a huge cost savings. Now, I've had a number of Taylors. I've had lots of Martins. I've had some Epiphones, Fenders, Yamahas. I like Yamaha guitars too. They're really good, and a lot of the Yamahas I've bought already came with a superiorly really low action. I even had one or two Martins with a nice low action on it already, and I'm like, wow, that's really nice. I barely even have to touch it. Now this is not a super low action. It's a little bit higher, but it's still really nice, and I can still bar chord with this without too much difficulty. Although I'm still trying to retrain my hand again, because this was the wrist I broke last year, and I'm still having some issues with it. So bar chording is something that's not my favorite thing to do right now on acoustic, but on the electrics I'm fine. So I got to rebuild my strength yet in my hand and fingers again for bar chord. But either way, this thing can still do bar chording exceedingly well, so no problems there. Finger picking. Taylors are nice for finger picking. They work really well. The spacing is just right, you know. Now, normally finger picking takes place on classical nylon string guitars because that's kind of the thing, right? And I've got a classical nylon string, and I really like it, and it's great for finger picking. It's good for a little bit of strumming because it's really not a strumming type of instrument, but you can. But I like it. It works, and it's an Epiphone, you know. And it's hard to find a classical guitar too with a guitar-like neck, which the Epiphone that I have does have a guitar type of neck, so it's a little bit closer. It's still a little wider than a guitar, but it's not as wide as most classicals out there are. So it's kind of like, that's kind of like really nice. I really like that part of it. So I'm not a total Taylor fan, I guess you could say. And I'm not really a fanboy of any guitar. I just know what I like, what works for me, what gives me the sound I'm after, and that's the thing too. That's the big, huge thing. The Taylors that I've bought, like some of them I regret having to get rid of, but life happened. And yeah, I got to pay bills. I got to fix my car, especially when finances suck when I'm, not working during the winter. Other than YouTube, and YouTube don't pay me enough for that. I can just cover my expenses along the way with my YouTube. It's the thing of, there's some I regret getting rid of, but I had to. I may buy some of them back again someday. I don't know. Maybe I'll just go for something different because I've had them already, and it's like, and the thing too, this is a 114E. This is not a cutaway, and I really prefer cutaways. So it's like right now I got 3 guitars here, all Taylors, and none of them are cutaways, right? And it's like, I'm missing something here. What did I do wrong? Oh yeah, I didn't want to wait to order in the one Taylor. So I did take the 110. I had a 110 before, but you know what? It is a nice guitar, and it does offer a very unique sound in comparison. So I want to give you guys a little quick comparison of the sound, and we're just going to do some strumming. So I'm going to try and do the same thing on both, but here's the 114E. Now, Grand Auditorium body, not a dreadnought. It is smaller, okay? Okay, so that's the 114. Now let me grab my 110. Just put this on the stand for a minute because it's okay there. Now I'm pretty sure the 110 does need to be tuned because it has been sitting on the wall now for about 2 weeks, I guess. Oh yeah, it just definitely needs a bit of a tune up here, guys. Just be patient. I wouldn't want to play a guitar that's not tuned because that's embarrassing. That should be good. So this is a full-size dreadnought. This is 110E. E means electronics. So it does offer a much different tone, and it's a little more boomier, a lot more volume output. Part of that, other than the big body, is this also has 1356s on it from the factory. So it's got some, punch to it. I don't even have to mic this thing up or, plug it in even when I'm playing at church. It's plenty flipping loud. Same as this one too. It cuts through the mix exceedingly well too. Even when we have our acoustic drummer whenever he shows, I can still not have to be plugged in, and I can be heard even on this thing. So yeah, there's a lot of things to really appreciate and like about Taylors, okay? Now there are some dislikes too, other than the fact that I don't like them all, because some of them I think are like more eye candy than they are guitar, really, to be honest. It's kind of like if you own a Gibson, you have bragging rights. If you own an Epiphone, Gibson people say you suck. I don't really care. I've owned Gibsons, and yeah, it's whatever. But this is the worst part, and that's the end pin here. You can't get a strap this thick to go on that end pin, not without a Nomad adapter like this. It's called a Nomad. And what it does is it offers you the solution to the problem. Okay, but of course you're going to have to move it out of the way to change your battery, which is fine. It just rotates. But that end pin is not got enough depth cut in it to support a strap properly like this. And it's like, you should not have to buy a $40 little accessory just so you can use a strap on a guitar. That is absolutely unacceptable. And we've all been complaining at Taylor on videos, and I actually complained to Taylor once in an email. They never said anything about it, but they obviously haven't fixed it either. But on the GS Minis, if you have no electronics on the Mini and on the Baby Taylor, they have an extended pin that works perfectly fine. If you have the electronics, you still have the extended pin on the Mini. And I think they have electronics in the Baby Taylor too. I think they have an E version. But anyways, whatever. It's still going to have a better end pin on it, and it'll be fine. But yet on this model, the 110s, the 114s, there's so many numbers. 200 series, I had a 214. Same thing with the end pin. Always have to have a Nomad on any of the Taylors I've had and still currently have, right? Except for the Mini. But they're fit and finish, second to none, like I said too. I love the varnish finish more than I love gloss. I'm not a huge fan of gloss finish, which I did have on the 314, but at the time I didn't mind it because it was still a really beautiful sounding guitar. But I believe that things happen for a reason in this world. And in my life, and if I'm meant to have something, I'll have it. If I'm not meant to have it, okay. Or if I'm meant to have something for a while and then get something different, then that's the way it works out too. So I kind of don't cry over spilt milk when, life happened, I got to do this or whatever. And I just replace it later on, whatever. So I'm kind of chill that way, you know what I mean? It's just, I don't care. I mean, I'll never be without a Taylor guitar. I'll never be without something in the way of a Les Paul, whether it's a Gibson or an Epiphone kind of thing, but at least I'm also going after to the point of I only want the stuff now that I need. I'm getting to that point in my life where it's like, it's nice to want everything because we do, but it doesn't necessarily mean we need the same things we want. Because let's face it, as guitar players, you guys know, and girls, we don't need half the crap we buy. We really don't. I mean, in all seriousness, I could literally get away with just one acoustic and one electric and be done. And that would work for everything that I play in music, whether it's at church, at home, stuff I record and upload, whatever, okay? I could do it all just with two guitars. But then I wouldn't have the rest of the fun. And You know, there is something to be said about a guitar with just a single P90 in it. There's something to be said about humbuckers. And that's kind of where we kind of get into this too, right? When it comes to acoustics, though, and for brands and preference, it's a personal thing. But at the same time, Taylor offers me the balancing of the sound, bass, mids, trebles, absolutely perfectly balanced. Really love how the tones work. You know, some people say that Taylors are bright guitars. Well, there is something to be said a little bit about that brightness, but a lot of that brightness actually comes from those strings. These are Elixir NanoWeb phosphorus bronze coated strings, and yes, they are bright. Yes, they will stay bright for a long time. But so you see, you put brand new strings, even non-coated strings on a guitar, they're going to initially be very bright anyways. But non-coated strings, of course, they dull out fast. They go dead really quick. Now, if you like a dead sound, that's fine. Who cares? Just use whatever. But strings do make a difference in the sound of the guitar. But these guitars from Taylor, they all come standard with Elixir NanoWeb strings. It's just whatever gauge they're using. This is 1253, 1356 over there, 1356 on the Mini. Who knows what they're going to be using on the 224 Deluxe Koa that I want. I'll have to look that up. I know that the other All Koa Plus Mini that I want, it's already 1356. And I'm not sure how well I'm going to get along with those on a left-handed version. Right-handed, I'm okay. They're still a little chunky, but I might actually drop that down to 12s. I don't know if I'm going to leave that with 13s or drop it to 12s yet. I haven't decided. But this one came with 12s, and I'm fine with it. They're fantastic. But anyways, other than that, yeah, I can't think of much else. The electronics are great. I love the Expression 2 system. It is fantastic. It works absolutely flawless. Sounds great. Through a PA, no problem there. Guitar, even unplugged, great. Like I said, I have no problem breaking through the mix of the other instruments, even unplugged with either one of these two particular Taylors. I don't play the right-handed one in church yet because I'm not quite that good yet. But you know, it's just you have to search out your instrument for you. But for me, yeah, it's Taylor. I'm not going to be buying any more other brands for ones that I'm going to be using all the time. All I'm going to be doing is Taylor. If I buy anything else of a different brand, it's going to be a beater guitar. You know, that I still want to have a beater guitar, preferably something that's all laminate, just so I don't have to worry about the top sitting out in the sun. I actually sat outside for about 10 minutes today with my GS Mini in the hot sun, and I'm like, okay, that was more than enough. Let's bring it back in the house now. It got to go outdoors. But that's it. I mean, and it's like, no, I don't want to do that too often because it's a solid top. And that hurts the top. Hurts the whole body, actually. But, so, I kind of want a beater guitar, but it won't be a Taylor for a beater guitar. Because it's also going to be for campfire stuff and whatnot. Anyhow, so let me know what you guys think. I think I've pretty much come up with all my points of why I think Taylors are better and why I prefer them, okay, for me. But like I said, don't knock a Taylor till you've actually gone and you've played on a bunch of them. Then decide if you really like Taylors or not. Because Taylor is not for everybody. You know, some people just don't like them, and that's fine. Some people don't like them, yet they've never even tried one. They just go, oh, that's not a Martin, or that's not a Gibson, or that's not a whatever. And it's like, yeah, okay, well, the snobs got to stop being such snobs and start playing something different and try it out and see. We've had guys even on the Martin forums that tried out a Taylor and they bought one. Some of them actually got rid of their Martins and said, sorry, I got to leave the club because I got rid of my Martins in favor of the Taylor. I just fell in love. Sorry, guys, can't help myself. Bye. And, you know, it has been known to happen, you know. And there are guys that were Taylor fans until they went Martin. It's weird, right? So anyway, that's all I got for you guys. Let me know what you think. Comments below as usual. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and see ya.